Hello, Gino. It's Rita again. I wanted to go over the edit that I made of this plant of yours, this beautiful plant. I have made a couple of more, just a little bit of a change in the crop since what I sent you. I wanted to explain what I did. I think that will be beneficial. I want to go, so I've already got it up in Snapseed, and I'm just going to go through the view edits of each one, what I was doing and what was my logic. There's your original. Nothing bothers me more than something being crooked, not straight, not level. And so the first thing that I did is went into rotate. And the way I did rotate was I can show you, I can change that, but by going like this, what I basically do is, you can see where the straighten angle is. I basically look at these grid lines and I try to get them parallel, like to the bottom of the pot. And it's about right. And I like that, so I'm going to accept that. Now here's the difference in the crop. This is the main thing that I did that's different than the one that I sent you, although I haven't explained how I did that. The crop, what I did here is, if you look on the left side, you see that dark green wall where the window is not there, and it just is distracting to me. So the main subject is the plant. So let's go, we're going to crop in. And if you see, I did do the original, the 4x3. And what I did is I cropped it so that if you look at they talk about that in the course on the composition, you can see the cross lines for the composition where you have it divided up into thirds, the rule of thirds they call it. And if you look at it, I've kind of got it where, first of all, I've got that wall. I'm excluding the wall that doesn't add anything to the photo. And I've got the plants. It's a two-part plant, but I've kind of got it along where it's sharing some of the space on the top third. One's the bigger one, and palm is a little bit above the grid line, the top grid line, and one is a little bit below, but they're both kind of in the cross where those lines cross, where the line of thorns, they call that a PowerPoint, where they intersect. And so I think that's a better one. It gives that nice blurred out thing from the window, which has a little bit of color, but I like that. So that's what I think is a better crop. I don't know if you think it's a better crop, but that's just my opinion. So that's a better crop for me. Then again, one of my favorite things to use of all time is tonal contrast, which they don't talk about in the course at all. But you can see what that tonal contrast did. It has already brought out a little bit. Now, you might not necessarily want the tonal contrast. Now, you see, one of the things I said in the other video is that you don't necessarily want the tonal contrast on everything. So what you can do is, I'm going to go in and I'm just going to do selective editing, and I just want the tonal contrast. Well, I can tell you where I don't want it, and I'm going to show you where I don't want it. I don't want it on the window. I don't want, because that tonal contrast will bring out details, and I don't really want that in that part of the window. I just don't need it there. So I kind of like it a little bit on the pot. I can't get everything, but that's pretty close. And so then I'm going to reverse. I'm going to reverse it, so I just kind of have it on the pot. Could take a little bit. I just barely touch that and get that in there. And I can go back to 100% and add a little bit back there. Now let's take the eye off, and you can see. And so now if you look at it, when we accept that, and when we go, let's do crop. Go back to crop, just to go back so you can see the effect of tonal contrast. You won't see a change now at the window. You'll only see it in the palm and the plant. And most of that tonal contrast is coming out in the pot, not the plant. So now I'm going to do curves, which I told you overall it needed lightening. And of course it did. And I didn't do anything with the default. I just did the brighten. And there I have it. And boy, that made a huge difference, don't you think? Let's go back and we'll see what that brightening did. It brightened it a lot. Now, the next thing was, I thought we could add a lot of detail. to the plants themselves. Now look at that big difference, okay? Let me show you what I did. I did the structure all the way up to 100%. Sometimes you can do that, because I wanted all the detail I could get out of that. And so that's what I did. And by the way, I've tried sharpening before, and I can't really see any difference with sharpening, so I usually don't mess with that. Anyway, so our structure is at 100%. Again, I go in and I do selective edit. You can see where I brushed it. I tried to stay strictly on the plant. I didn't want to do it on the pot. Got enough of that with tonal contrast. And there I have it there. Now here's the one that I think made the biggest difference on making it look three-dimensional. I went into curves again. I thought I wanted to bring out more of the green or something, but actually what I ended up doing is I ended up doing this. What it does is it really almost takes out the other, the effect of the window. Now that's really up to you whether you like the looks of the window or not. But to me, your subject is the plant. You want that plant to really show up. And so by doing that, by hitting that curves, now let me show you. I actually went through and I did a whole lot of them to see which one I liked. It gave me the effect that I was looking for. I could have done each individual, like I showed you, I could have done each individual color like that, but I didn't. I just decided to use a preset. I'd already done the preset for making it brighter. So what I did is I basically went through and I tried different ones. That's okay, but it really doesn't. That's pretty good too. It depends on which one you want. No, not that one. That one was pretty nice, actually. That was pretty nice. But I like to fiddle with a lot of them. I tried each one of them. I can keep doing this all day. The one that I finally decided was the next to the last one, which is KO1. I like that one because it really did brighten it, and it almost brightened out the plant. The pot that they're in. But what I really wanted was the palms to really show up and really look far away from the window, and I thought that one did it. See, that one just makes it too light, so that's not what I wanted. So I went with this one. Still gave a nice rich color to the palms, and it did. So this is just what I think. I don't know if this is exactly what you would want to do or not. So go with that. Then finally, I go with a vignette. Look at the difference that the vignette makes. I think it does make a big difference. Again, here's the blue dot. Usually it comes in right smack dab in the center, but because I want the palm to be the center of attention, I put the dot. I move the dot in the center, and then I made the outer brightness a lot darker than I usually do. It's going to be, doesn't look like it would be very subtle, but I still don't think you can really see that it's there. We could even increase it some more. No, I think, well, let's just leave it at that, I think, because that was what my initial thought was. I did add a little bit of inner brightness because, again, I wanted those to show up. And there you have it. Now, let's see. I haven't put a frame on it. I'm just going to experiment. Let's do this. Let's just do this. Let's do save and modify so that we have it. Now, here's where you can do this. Let's go ahead and try adding a frame. Let's see if we can find a frame that we like. I like this number 4 on this particular one. I think it looks pretty nice. So I'm going to adjust the width. -10 looks pretty good. I like that one. What do you think? So I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to check it. Now I can do export, save a copy. Now what I'll have is I'll have the one without the frame and the one with. I hope this was helpful. I always enjoy doing this, and I always learn something as I'm doing it. Later.